is a story with many facets.
T-minus 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This is the Jody and Scott Show.
Hey, what's happening? Jody and Scott Show, jodyandscottshow.com on Twitter, Jody N. Scott. Always nice to have you hanging out with us. What's happening, Scott?
Dude.
Yeah, I know.
It's a big, exciting show tonight. Two huge guests. And when I say huge, Jody, they're big men. They are. And I can't wait to get to them. Of course, the original reality superstar, Richard Hatch from Survivor. The first Survivor is going to be live right here on the Jody and Scott Show. That's pretty exciting, dude.
Yeah, you know, that's cool because I just a couple weeks ago, we had Tila Tequila, who is sort of the original kind of Instagram girl. Now the original reality show TV.
We like to take people back to the days of MySpace. Is
Really?
what we're doing here. This is just take you back to a day where you had to pick top 8s.
Also,
you know what I mean?
Also, Roger Moore from Roger's Movie Nation is going to be joining us to talk about some of the summer movies. We got a lot going on tonight. A lot of fun
Jody,
stuff to talk about. You know,
I got a hunch.
A hunch
about this. You like that? That's a new word I learned the other day. A hunch. Roger Moore is going to tell us what's going on with this Rotten Tomatoes score thing, because now they're in the ads of movies, which makes these scores and these critics very valuable
now,
with each and every write-up.
Going into the Ghostbusters thing, there was a whole thing, right? Because people thought that the score was inflated. The movie ended up being terrible.
It's a horrible movie, yeah.
Everyone agreed, but there were like a strange number of reviewers that sort of gave it a pass and didn't destroy it. And that, you know, it's kind of weird. I like to talk.
We want to know why, and we're going to find out what's going on with that. But this is big news tonight, Jody. Adele turning down the Super Bowl halftime show. Can you believe this? That would have been an exciting show.
Would that have been great? Like,
see her ass running around on stage. They would have given her like a dance move.
No, but
maybe they had to, right?
I mean, but what were they thinking?
She's gonna be dancing around her. Like,
why are they trying to make Why are they trying to make the Super Bowl halftime show as boring as possible? She couldn't be a worse choice. Like, I get that she's a superstar and people love her, but she's never brought like energy to anything, right?
No, you go to like Carnegie Hall to see her, right?
Right. I mean, she's like an opera singer. Like, she stirs like emotion, I guess is her thing. Like she doesn't get people up and moving and dancing, which is what you sort of expect from a Super Bowl halftime show. It's a terrible.
She makes you want to take a nice, relaxing nap, Jim, actually.
Right.
It's napping music. And in fact, they're actually hitting up a couple other songs or a couple other artists to play the halftime show. Do we know who they are? Are they more exciting, at least, Jody?
It might be too late, right? Because I think
he's dead.
I think he might. But maybe they could do like the hologram thing, and that would be even extra depressing, right?
This is actually the second choice for the halftime of the Super Bowl.
I hurt myself today.
This is the only song that's more depressing than Adele's songs, right?
Do you think Johnny Cash knew where he was when he was singing that song?
To see if I still feel.
Didn't he passed away? What? It was like just
I think right after he recorded that, he dropped dead.
It was just a couple of weeks, right? Like a week or two after he recorded this song. This was his goodbye.
Yeah, this is goodbye. Like goodbye, horrible planet.
On the
man. All right. So
I think he even knew it was a Nine Inch Nails song. So there's a lot of questions about that recording.
Maybe they should try something more upbeat, like maybe. Do you remember the old Gary Jules tune?
I think I actually pleasured myself with my own tears to this.
What movie was this? The big song in? It was the weird.
It involved suicide.
What was the name of the movie?
This is gonna be a good halftime show, dude. We're gonna have to break out a Janet Jackson tit. Get this thing exciting.
bright and early for the daily.
I couldn't imagine anything like this. Why would they think that Adele is a good choice for a halftime show?
What's her like upbeat, snazzy song?
Well, who did it?
She's got one of them. What is it, like River Runs Dry or something?
I don't know.
know.
Well, this last Super Bowl was what? It was Coldplay, right? And that was a snoozer.
Was boring.
It was.
Why does everybody have to be British?
It was mind-numbingly boring, the Coldplay one, and now like they want to tone that down. They're like, hey, maybe there's a little too much energy in this Coldplay show. Next year let's tone it down, guys. Let's tone it down a little bit. Can we get Adele? Can we get Adele?
Pillows with those Super Bowl tickets.
Going
little NyQuil. Jody, listen. Now you have
So
a
who's it going to
bachelor
be? Have
party.
they said who's it going to be? Do we have any idea?
They're gonna dig up Johnny Cash and throw his ass on stage. Perform, motherfucker. No, Jody. Honestly, you had a beautiful wedding. I was there.
Thank
it was
you.
nice.
It was a very pretty wedding. Yes, it was.
You tried to get me to watch the video last time I saw you, which is a little creepy, but
I try to do that when people come
Yeah.
over to visit. I'm always like, "Hey, let's watch the wedding video real quick. It's only an
Like,
hour
no.
and 15 minutes."
let me get a hit of that weed. Maybe we'll talk about it.
Right.
Now, Jody, did you have a bachelor party? I don't even remember. I've been to so many
We combined it
goddamn
with
bachelor
we
parties.
combined it with Mike's. I was just like, Mike was
Good.
getting
'Cause
married
you
like,
didn't care.
like 6 or 8 months earlier, and I was like, I don't need everybody doing a
Right.
bachelor party for me. I'm just gonna tag along. We'll call it mine and whatever. Yeah.
Right. So yeah, we did that. We went to Vegas, I think. You puked up a tequila shot. It was a party.
Yeah, it was a hell of a weekend.
But it's better than these joint bachelor and bachelorette parties.
This is a new thing, right? This isn't.
It's a
this
new
was-
thing.
This wasn't going on 10 years ago, was it?
No, this is back when, no, it wasn't going on when cargo shorts were. When cargo shorts were big, this was not going on, okay? But it's these guys that don't have a pair of balls that set up these things. Because the girl's like, I don't leave you. I don't want to leave you either. So we're just going to go on together parties.
Mm-hmm.
Here's the deal. If you're that insecure that you can't spend one weekend without this person, I think there's a very, very small chance that this marriage is going to work. What do you think about this, dude?
That's what it comes
Don't
down to.
have
Right?
one,
There's
right?
the only possible reason that you do the joint one is
If you don't have a lot of money.
is because you have trust issues, right? I mean, that's it. You think
you
money
can say you're broke, but I don't know.
Even then, I
About
mean,
to
look,
get married, so you better not be broke.
a bachelor party doesn't have to be a travel away and spend thousands. It can be go out in the town where you live kind of a thing. You know what I mean? Like, it doesn't have to be a big thing, but if you have to do it with your bride to be because you have trust issues,
all the time with you I can. You know, that's you have a creepy
load of
voice, dude. That's how they sound, these
I
people.
know. What a
'Cause
load of
your girl, Jamie, went on her own thing to New York, I think.
I
is
saw
what
the
she did.
pictures. I saw the pictures of my wife's.
She was wearing like a
bachelorette
dildo
party.
hat or something, you know?
Looked like
The
they
usual
had,
thing.
looked like they had a great time. I couldn't
Eating
imagine.
straws.
It looked like the most miserable experience in the entire world. Women's bachelorette parties. Look, you're
It's like Sex and the Shitty. You know what I mean?
You DJ in clubs. You must see them all the time. There's almost.
If my friend Tiffany is getting married, can you say something on the microphone? You know,
There's
that
almost right.
Live
Like,
that life.
Like there's actually almost nothing worse than a bachelorette party, except Mike just put on the screen that they do male female baby showers now too. Like the guys go.
Yeah,
to,
actually, our friend's doing one of those. It's like a man-woman shower. Yeah, they
do you
force the
mean?
guys to go to these things now.
What are you talking about? Like, hold on.
Mike
so
did that, actually.
Mike did that.
Yeah,
Mike did
there's a bunch of dudes at his thing.
Mike made a bunch of guys go to a baby
you do
shower.
that?
Mike, where are you? Mike, you there?
How dare you?
He always refuses.
He always
to,
bails when it's about him,
He
you know?
refuses.
No. I was just having issues logging in. But listen, it's like one of these things where these women realize that they don't all want to hang out together and they don't want to give us more free
Right.
time
Okay.
to do
Yeah,
our
that's
own
exactly
thing.
it.
So they force us to go to these awful baby showers. You know why? Because it bores the piss out of them, too.
They want the funny guys to show up and make jokes and entertain them because all girls
Yes,
sitting
they
around, that
want
gets old real
entertainment.
fast.
For my wife's baby shower, I promised that I would take pictures, so I was like pretty much the only guy there, and it's a terrible thing. Like it's not
What are you
something
doing? Just sitting in the corner,
it-
on your phone, probably, or something like that?
It's not something that any guy would ever want to participate in, and I can't even fathom like a thing where guys and girls get together for
Now,
for
really
a
quickly,
bachelor-
Jody,
for- I mean,
now that
for
we're
a-
here
for a-
on wedding stuff,
baby
I want to
thing.
go over my cool, awesome thing that I do now. Now, do you have my wedding music? I set that up earlier with you, my beautiful wedding music. It's not my beautiful wedding music. I had a romantic, no?
No, wedding music. I don't have.
Yeah, it says right here is. Oh, I didn't do it. My
No,
bad.
yeah, I don't have
Anyway, do you have anything like a little bit of with a little romance to it, maybe? A little bit of romance.
A little bit of
Anything
romance.
with a little, maybe a slow dance. Oh yeah. Now, Jody, this is big, and you might want to steal this from me. Anybody out there might want to steal this. I do this thing now where I do a very late wedding gift. Bali. Good song.
So you stand out from the crowd? Like, why do you do that?
Hey, don't steal my thunder.
Is that the reason?
Okay, so you wait, and I told Mike about this, and he was pretty proud of me. You wait about 6 months after the wedding.
Okay.
Then you pop a thing in the mail, And then guess what? You're all of a sudden the standout. They don't remember all the shit they got at the same time, but this guy.
But aren't you just standing out because you sent it 6 months late? Like, that's the only
True.
reason you're standing out.
Remembered.
You're not standing out because it's a great gift or because you showed them some particular, like
This is a
special
great way to be
affection.
seen.
You're only standing out because you sent it 6 months late. Like, you sort of look like an ass. Like, you're basically standing out for being an asshole. Is
What the
what
hell are
you're
you
doing.
talking about, dude?
But
This is
what you're-
beautiful.
But that's what you're doing. You're standing out because you're a dickhead.
Jody, you're
That's the
telling me
only-
6 months after you get married, you get a nice little card in the mail, okay, from your what is it, nephew Scott or whatever the hell. I'm the cousin,
right.
whatever.
Sure, whatever.
From your cousin Scott, and it says, "Hey, go to Outback on me." 6 months later, you're all of a sudden getting an out of nowhere free Outback meal. You're telling me you're not going to love that and suck on an awesome bloss or whatever, blooming onion? No.
That would be cool, but then you're also sending it as a wedding gift. So, like, if you didn't send it as a wedding gift, it was just like a random out of the blue gift card, it would be cool. But it was a 6 month late wedding gift, then no. Oh, and by the way, Scott, you mentioned
Tell me
cargo.
a fried onion doesn't sound good to you right now?
You mentioned cargos a few minutes ago, the cargo shorts. I experienced, it's starting to happen out there.
Cargo lives matter.
Well, no, here I think that people need to understand this because there has been a recent there's been a recent and very, if I might say, very strange push in the media against cargo shorts. And it's
BuzzFeed's big.
It's really weird. All of a sudden, articles being written by people all over the place, bloggers, people that write for legitimate newspapers.
They're pushing it hard.
All of these people are basically like writing all these anti-cargo shorts articles, and the repercussions in the real world are starting to happen because I was at 7-Eleven the other day.
It's like racial.
I was
Not really, but-
I was checking out, and this girl behind the counter looked right at my cargo shorts.
Look at
looked
this
at me,
asshole.
and then took the person after me and rung them up, and then rang me up after that. Then when I was at the mall, at least
This is sick.
at least 2 or 3 different people looked at me and muttered stuff under their breath as they walked by after they looked at my cargo shorts. So if everyone thinks that this is just a joke, if everyone thinks that it's just like this funny thing that all these articles are being written about cargo shorts and how they need to stop and need to go away, well, let me tell you something. Right now,
wild.
out in the real world, people are starting to be treated differently because of the cargo shorts that they choose to wear. And I'll tell you what, that's not the country that I want to live in. It's not the
sick.
country I want to live in.
And let me tell you something right now, Jody. I actually had one last pair of cargo shorts, and I wanted to get rid of it because, it's not in. I don't want to
Why
walk
are
around
you?
like
Come
you looking
on,
like
don't
a vagabond.
bend to the pressure, Scott.
I went to a homeless man, okay? And I was giving him my beautiful cargo shorts, my last pair. And you know what the homeless guy did? Slapped me in the face.
Just
believe
slapped you
that?
in the face.
Yeah, a dirty bum hand just slapped me right across the face. And, I just threw the cargo shorts away. I didn't want to deal with them anymore. I had a funeral in the dumpster.
It's not right, man. What's going on out there? Like, I'm starting to feel it. Like, that was the first time at that 7-Eleven that I had ever felt really discriminated against. Listen to me. I am a very
Cargo
privileged
shorts
white male.
matter.
I am a very privileged
Losing
white
your
male.
hair.
Highly privileged white male
Flip-flops,
right here.
hairy feet.
Never been discriminated against in my life.
Sad.
Life's been a fucking piece of cake. I just got discriminated against because of my goddamn shorts at a 7-Eleven the other day.
You know
It
it's not a
happened.
piece. You know it's not a piece of cake, Jody. My armpit hair. It's getting long. How long do you wait?
I don't ever touch it. Ever.
So
I
it's
have
like,
never once. I've never once trimmed.
Rapunzel. What's going on with your pits?
It stops growing at a certain point, Scott. Like let me look at like my armpit hair is
oh
probably.
God, you're looking right now live.
Yeah, I'm looking live.
It's like an old man's beard. What's going on with that?
Inch and a half.
Like a wizard.
I have very wispy, short
What do you
armpit
got?
hair. Like it's
Pop
about
me,
an inch.
pop me a pit pick
It's
if you could.
about an inch and a half of armpit hairs. What I have.
Well, yeah,
going
give it a
right
little trim because I started to get like where you can feel it when you're walking. It kind of rubs against your whole pit.
Yeah.
So I give it a trim. It takes a couple seconds. For Christ's
But
sake,
then it
Jody,
itches.
do a favor to your
But then
pits.
it itches. Even a trim, even
tiny trim.
even cutting it with scissors.
You wanna
makes
leave a
it-
little length,
Makes
yeah.
it extremely itchy. I did it one time, and I swore to God I would never ever do it again, and never again.
I don't work in an office anymore, but I did the cubicle life for a while, Jody, and I've seen these commercials all over the place. You know what I'm talking about? This stand-up desk where some asshole
Yeah.
orders a desk online, okay?
And then, like,
all of a sudden it turns into like a robot and stands up. So you're standing up all day. So you're blocking the view of maybe the hot chick that used to work across from you. Like, who are these assholes bringing these stand-up desks to work?
Well, first of all, I think.
How do you put them together? IKEA?
I don't think anybody actually orders them themselves. Like, aren't you supposed to like tell your boss that you want a stand-up desk or something? Or and who isn't
Are you
getting
allowed to bring it?
Well, who isn't getting laughed out of their boss's office if you go in there and go, "Hey, have you seen the commercials for these rising stand-up desks? Can I maybe is there room in the budget for me to get one of those? You think? I mean, who isn't
the old lady Gertrude over there is like, I can't stand. You know what I mean? Like,
who isn't getting laughed? I don't know. It's so
expensive
goofy
as hell too.
And imagine being the one guy in your office that has the pneumatic standing desk. Like you're sitting there,
stare at this guy's butt all day.
You're sitting there. It's 10 in the morning. You're having a coffee, sitting down. Bob comes up. Hey, Bob. Good morning.
Yeah, he's such a dickhead.
Hey, by the way, tell you what, give me just a second. I got a little cramp in my back here. And you can stand up and you raise your desk up so you're standing, and then
he's above everybody. You're all a bunch of lazy piece of shits. Look at me. I'm standing right now. It's probably bad for your knees to stand that much. Jody, we have some breaking news right now. This is actually something that I can't get over right now. I can't believe this is happening while we're on the air live. Unbelievable. Now, tell me if you know this name, Jody.
Okay.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz.
Yeah, she is the former Democratic National Committee chairwoman. She is a U.S. House of Representatives in my district. Actually, I get the opportunity to vote against her this.
That's right,
this
Jody.
year. I'm very excited
Debbie
about that.
Wasserman Schultz.
What about her? What's little Deb got going on, Scott?
I just want to say her name because it's a really cool name.
Why are you bringing up Debbie? I
just like saying that name, Debbie Wasserman Schultz. I actually walked into First Aid today, where I was working, and I just said the words Debbie Wasserman Schultz, and people looked at me like I meant something.
How'd that go over? I was gonna say,
I really did do that. You believe I do stuff like that?
You
right?
do things
really
like that.
I do that because I wanted a Powerade, and they gave it to me for free.
Did anybody say anything when you walked in and just said Debbie Wasserman Schultz?
No, they all kind of looked at me really weird, and then there was like 30 paramedics, and I was like, how many paramedics does it take to screw in a light bulb in here? You know what I mean? And then they didn't laugh at that either. And then I just kind of creeped in there and got my Powerade and got the hell out.
Yeah.
Welcome to work. That's what I did.
Did you hear that the Playboy Mansion, the center of a teenage boy growing up in the 80s and 90s universe, the Playboy Mansion has been sold, Scott. It's over.
Well, there's not even a naked woman in Playboy anymore. Who the hell is going to read that?
I don't even understand. What's the point of Playboy's existence at this point? Like, if it's not...
Well, back in the day, they were big, because I would find them under my dad's bed and jerk to him hard.
Look, back in the day, Playboy was sort of the main source, because it was like generally acceptable to have a Playboy in the house because it wasn't hardcore porn. So they were generally accessible to kids, right? Like if you were like 12 years old, you could find a Playboy. If you couldn't, you had a friend who could, no problem.
Well, what we would do, Jody, and this was great. We had a Goonies treasure map. So it was like into the woods. We would have a box of Playboys. We would make the map, and you would pass it on between friends, and they would go jerk in the woods.
Always in the woods, yeah. Always the box in the woods. So weird.
Box in the woods.
Our kids will never experience that. They will never.
There will not be a cum-filled box.
They will
in
never.
The woods.
They will never understand the joy
a lot of DNA in that thing.
Of a box in the middle of the woods filled with magazines that had like pages stuck together from the moisture.
You had the box in the woods too, though. You're not just bullshitting me.
No, I'm not bullshitting. Everybody had the box. Everybody who lived near woods had a box in the woods, or had at some point discovered a box in the woods full of porn and firecrackers. Like that's
dad,
like that's what
My dad found the box in the woods. It was a weird night.
How did he find
this?
Hold on. How did he find the box?
I think he found the map, and then he found the box in the woods, and we walked in from playing on our bikes, back in the day that people used to do, and the dirty box is sitting on the dining room table. Is like, we have some dogging to do.
And he presented you with the wet, disgusting Playboys.
I was like, you could have thrown those out, Dad. That's a cum-filled box sitting on the dining room table right now. What the hell are you doing?
I've got some bad news for you, Scott. Some
What's
really,
that?
really bad news. We put on some sad music here.
Shit.
This is the closest thing I
What
have
is this?
to closest thing I have to.
Is this you
sad
playing
music.
piano?
No, this is not me playing piano.
Okay. Oh, I like this song. Don't ruin this song for me. It's an emotional song.
A show that has been extremely important to us in the last year has unfortunately come to an end.
No.
I Am Kate.
This show?
I Am Kate. Well, I wish this show would stop.
No.
I Am Kate will not be having a third season. CNN has
Shut
confirmed.
the hell up.
CNN,
This is tragic.
It is over for I Am Kate, the groundbreaking reality show starring Caitlyn Jenner, cataloging her a journey from being a man to a woman. It's
that was
over.
a beautiful journey.
A terrible show.
I mean,
right?
if you go back and let's remember the
It
good
wasn't
times,
in
though.
fun
Remember
to
the
watch.
fun orgasm party? We all had fun with that. We would do the orgasms with them. It was like a live. You would get all your friends together for the I Am Kate show, and you would just you'd have a party.
Well, wasn't that clip like a whole bunch of old women, right? They were like in their 50s or something, like 50s,
That's
60s,
right.
70s.
No, they weren't women. They were men that chopped their dicks off. But I guess they're women
No,
now.
Scott,
That's what they say. And I'm sorry. I don't know. I think they do the fillet with the butterfly wings.
Well,
I don't know what they do.
The show
But
has been canceled, and that's that. But
Well,
now I
remember
think
that one time the pig lady was on the show? That was a fun show. There was comedy in the show, too. They had the one I Am Kate. It was a good episode. That was my favorite episode.
I tell you what, we've got our first guest of the evening is standing by. He's a writer. Well, he's a movie critic that you and I have been reading for a very long time because he wrote for the Orlando Sentinel. Now writing for Rogers Movie Nation. We've got
Let's all go to the
we've got Roger Moore. Roger Moore, welcome to the Jody and Scott Show. How are you, man?
Gentlemen, how are you tonight?
We're great. Nice to have
Good
you.
to
Thanks,
hear
sir.
from you, Roger. Do you remember me? Honestly, used to come to CBS. Our sales manager looked at you weird in the elevator that one time. Remember?
Yeah, I remember that. Yeah, that's the first thing that came to mind.
Because you were really pissed off about that.
Well,
That's
so-
why I still remember it.
So Roger, are you now like sort of are you sort of like an indie movie reviewer now? You're not your hands aren't shackled by the man. You can write whatever the hell you want to.
That's exactly right. Yeah, it's a lot of people who were in my boat either gave up the business. Some of us, if we had enough traffic, if we were gathered by enough aggregators,
Right.
being on Rotten Tomatoes is very important. Metacritic is more important for me. MRQE, which is the movie review query engine, that's the third one. If you're already on there, you can still justify the traffic. You can still make something resembling a living at it. And again, if you're not working worried about a newspaper, you can piss people off. You can get into real arguments with them on the comments, which is something newspapers are too cowardly to do. And when a movie like Suicide Squad or this week Kingsglaive, Final Fantasy 15 opens, it's a movie version of the video game that's been out forever and ever. And occasionally they'll make a movie. The people who are fans of that crap, fanboys with a BOI, those people will get into it with you every time, and you just take the gloves off.
So before I think we want to talk about some shadiness, and especially
With
when it comes to
Ghostbusters,
especially when it comes to Rotten Tomatoes. I'm gonna let Scott get into that in a second. But first, you as sort of an indie movie reviewer, you've created a career based around all of this. How much would you say you make in a year doing
You
this?
can't just ask this guy how much he makes. Hey, Roger, Jody does this every guest we have.
I'm
He
just
jumps
kinda-
right in.
I'm
to
curious.
the salary.
What
This
is
is
it that
sick
you-
and
what do
disgusting.
you-
He's also losing his hair, Roger, very fast. So
What
this
are
is
you
a sad
making?
man.
What are you making doing
Wow.
this? It's a pretty sweet gig
I've
you've got.
been doing it since the 80s, and I did it as a freelancer first. Then I went to newspapers, small newspapers and large newspapers.
What are you making? $2 or $3 million a year?
Don't ask him what he
No,
makes.
nobody. That's the thing about syndication. People think you make a fortune out of it,
$5
and
million?
you don't. Unless you're Roger Ebert and you have a TV show, and that's where he made all his money, and he owned a
very
piece of that TV show even after he was no longer able to do it. So there were a few people. He sucked all the oxygen out of the room, but there's really nobody out there making that kind of money
I
at
thought
it.
you were a
It's
millionaire.
something you do because you love it, and you. No. But you do make a decent living, especially when newspapers were going really strong. They're kind of dying right now. But you make a decent living at it, and if you're smart, you save your money, and you never have to pay for a movie ticket. So that part of it's covered.
Roger, don't listen to Jody. He sat at home all weekend making Pinterest projects, okay? He's an idiot. Now listen, here's the thing. Okay, I want to talk about Ghostbusters because Rotten Tomatoes really screwed us on this one. And I want to know who's milking whose pockets, because I went to that movie with a clear mind saying, you know what, let's have some fun. Let's see if these girls can do it. They've done other funny things in the past. That's a stinker of a movie, Roger. That's a horrible movie, and you know it. I didn't see what you gave it, but my God, how did that get fresh on Rotten Tomatoes? And do you think there's money being changed into other critics' hands?
No. There are 320 some reviews, I think, of that movie, and also of Suicide Squad on Rotten Tomatoes, which means that Rotten Tomatoes has, over the years, added a lot of people to it that sort of watered down the critical consensus. So there are a whole lot of people, again, that word fanboy, are out there. And then there was also an awful lot of pushback by Paul Feig, the director, and a couple of the stars of the film, particularly Paul Feig, who was essentially making it, if you trash the movie, you had to be a sexist pig.
Right.
So a lot of people were cowed by that and intimidated by that. I didn't like it. You know, I knew from the trailer that it didn't have a single new thing to say. They were going to repeat the same gags. Yeah, the jokes are the same. They brought back the original cast, those of whom are surviving. Bill Murray has never been less funny in a movie. They made Melissa McCarthy the straight woman. Melissa McCarthy's the straight woman in it. What kind of idiot does that? This is Paul Feig, who is, she's his muse. And he made this fatal mistake. They also had a female screenwriter who has few decent credits, and they did a whole lot of things to try to make this, a real distaff female version of Ghostbusters, and most of them did not pay dividends. I mean, if Tina Fey had written it, it would have been a lot funnier. If Amy Poehler had a handle in writing it,
I don't think there
a
was
lot
a script.
funnier.
I just think they were like, okay, well, here's the scene, start talking. It doesn't seem like there was a script to it at all, and they killed a ghost by shooting it in the dick. I mean, that's the end of the movie. Like, are you?
Hey, Scott, I haven't seen the movie yet. You just ruined the entire thing for me.
He's a fanboy.
I haven't seen it, dude. What are you doing?
Apparently, the ghost has a dick, and they shoot it.
Son of a bitch. All right. Well, hey.
Well, you know what? One of the things that went wrong with that movie, I think, is that old Venus and Mars comparison between men and women.
Yeah.
Men on the set of a Judd Apatow movie are competing with each other to get the best line and make the funniest line win. Women are being nurturing and supporting each other, and that sort of competitiveness does not exist, and it does not make for good comedy. Now, Kristen Wiig has made good comedies with Paul Feig, and Melissa McCarthy has made good comedies with Paul Feig, but putting that much firepower on the set really worked against it, I think, and the only one who really made a mark was Kate McKinnon.
Yeah, so it was kind of weird. One more quick question, though. Roger, one more quick question. We got to talk about Suicide Squad real quick. Why did it look like it was edited in a chop house? It was a mess of a movie. It looked like it had been fucked with a million times. What happened with that movie, and why did it turn out so weird and didn't make any sense?
Well, your hunch was right, and anybody who watched the movie could see that was the case. Yeah, no, your hunch was absolutely right, and you could tell. I mean, what happened was Warner Brothers released Batman versus Superman, very dark movie in the same vein, same universe, DC universe, same corner of the DC universe that Suicide Squad comes from, and they didn't make their money back on it, and they panicked. And so they immediately started reshooting, recutting. They recut the trailers. They made it look like this summer's version of the Marvel movie, Guardians of the Galaxy, which came out the same weekend last summer. Yeah, and they tried to make make it much more about comedy. There wasn't any comedy in it.
No.
And you could tell the trailers made you think that it was going to be funnier.
Yeah, and there was
they did. It's a Will Smith comedy, and well, there were a few there, and the few that were there, they put in the trailer. So everybody went to the theater thinking it was going to be Guardians of the Galaxy, and that was the first disappointment. And the second one is just bleak and not much funny. The performances aren't particularly interesting. Margot Robbie, she's been hyped all year long. Basically, the performance was the sum total of her performance was her butt cheeks.
Her butt cheeks were awesome, Roger. Hey, don't talk bad about her butt cheeks. They were great. They were a best supporting actor.
There's nothing bad about that. No. I'm not dissing them, but that's all there was to her performance. No,
right.
It failed on its own merits, and it made a lot of money, but not nearly enough to break even. And they just got themselves in a hole. These movies are costing way too much money now.
What about Debbie Wasserman Schultz? Do you have anything to say about her?
Scott.
She's very big.
Roger, Scott just likes saying her name. He doesn't
Right, it's
really
a good
want to get
name,
into
Debbie
he doesn't-
Wasserman Schultz.
He doesn't really want to get into like a political
There's gonna be a
discussion.
movie
He just
maybe
likes to get people to say the name. I don't know. I don't really know why. Hey, Roger, thank you so much for joining us. I think we really focused on the bad movies this time. Maybe if you wouldn't mind, I really enjoyed having you on. Maybe next time we can talk about some good movies coming out. Maybe get into some of that stuff.
Last weekend and this weekend, two of the better movie-going weekends of the summer. So there's good stuff out there.
What do we got coming? What do we got? What should we be looking out for the next couple of weeks? That's going to be good. What should I be?
Emotional Oscar shit, right?
Yeah, well, the Oscars starts right around this time. But you've got Hell or High Water, an action film set in West Texas with Chris Pine from Star Trek, Ben Foster from Warcraft, and Jeff Bridges, the Oscar winner, as the Texas Ranger chasing them through Texas. It's wonderful.
All right,
exactly.
Roger
Moore. Really good genre picture, a solid thriller.
Roger Moore, thank you very much. We'll have you on again some other time. We appreciate it.
Roger, how much money is Rotten Tomatoes paying you? Tell me now!
How much you making, Roger? How much you making doing it? All right.
Not enough.
All right, Roger, thank you very much.
Moore,
there he is.
yeah.
Roger Moore from Rogers Movie Nation. Go check it out. Google him. He's also on Twitter and all that stuff. Roger Moore. Rogers
First
Movie
millionaire.
Nation.
First millionaire to ever come on the show. That was pretty cool.
First millionaire. Are you sure we haven't ever had a millionaire on the show ever before? We have to have.
One guy that
Tila
had
Tequila,
exactly 1 million.
You don't think Tila Tequila is a millionaire?
Didn't Richard Hatch win exactly $1 million once? I mean, I don't know.
Okay, and he is going to be joining us in just a few moments. So maybe maybe he could be the first millionaire.
My cool Olympic fact is coming up. Are you excited about this, Jody? I've been looking forward to this all day.
Are you going to do this now? Is it time?
As giddy as a schoolgirl. Right now. Yeah. By the way, Jared's still in jail because he texted somebody they want to bang a 16-year-old. I was reading about that the other day. Very disturbing. Anyway,
I don't even want to. Can we not?
Back to my very, very cool Olympic fact. And Jody, you're going to be thrilled by this because I know you like talking money. All right, you like doing Pinterest projects and talking money.
Yeah,
what you like to do.
Right.
I bet you've always wondered this. How much are the medals? How much do you win if you get the medal? Now this is interesting, right, Jody? You want to know?
I do want to know. What do you if you get the medal, you get a cash prize along with the medal? I had no idea.
You didn't know that? Yeah. First of all, the gold's not really gold. Okay, I hate to burst your bubble. Spoiler alert. All right.
Okay.
It's not real gold. But they do get the cash prize with it. Guess how much you get for the bronze. And once we get to there, we'll work our way up. Take a wild guess. The bronze, how much?
$1,000.
What do you think this is? A poker game of Joe Schmoes? I mean, Jesus.
$5,000. $5,000.
All right, this game sucks. Let's go right to the gold.
Okay. $10,000.
Where's my music?
How much?
$25,000 for gold, Jody.
Wow.
This is big. All right, so Phelps. That's why the Williams sisters didn't give a shit. You know what I mean? They're making millions playing Wimbledon. What? $25,000 just gross to them.
I can't tell what's going on. Is Richard Hatch on the phone or not, Mike? I see him. I see an entry for him, but it says he's headed out to go somewhere. What's going on here? Anything? No. I don't know where Richard Hatch is, Scott. I thought maybe
Richard.
Pick it up. He's on the line. Pick it up.
Oh, why are your notes? Why are your notes wrong? We got Richard Hatch on the show. You're screwing this up for us. For
Jody,
God's
maybe
sakes.
you can't read.
Welcome, the first winner of Survivor and generally very interesting guy, Richard Hatch. Welcome to the Jody and Scott Show. How's it going, man?
Cool, man. I think I'm interesting too. I love hearing that.
Yeah, well, here's the thing. Before
Richard does love himself.
Yeah,
yes,
before we get into anything, I think the most I realized that you had done Celebrity Apprentice, and so obviously, so you're probably the person that's had the most direct interaction with Donald Trump that I've ever spoken to.
There you go.
And
this
so,
is big.
I kind of like jump right into this because I'm not really sure where you stand or what your opinion of the guy is. But
you don't read his Twitter, Jody. You did no research on this guy. What a dick!
What do you? Sorry, I know I did not read his Twitter. So what's your stance on Donald Trump and how were your dealings with him back when you were doing Celebrity Apprentice?
Well, first of all, I know him well, not just through Celebrity Apprentice, but I've known him well for years before that.
Okay.
I spent time with him in the mornings when I worked in his building. I interacted with him often. I sat with him at events. He invited me to sit on the dais at his roast at the Friars Club.
Okay.
And I did all kinds of things. I'm the only person you probably talked to who was in his office at the top of Trump Tower naked with him while he
he was
pointed
naked
out
too?
what the...
You got naked with Donald Trump?
No, he was not naked.
Oh, okay.
Oh, it's too bad. He's got the small hands.
Man, I got really excited for a second there. Wow, I was like, we got a story on our hands here. Yeah.
It's still a cool story. I was hosting Live with Reese.
He was naked.
And, we did a bit, and so I rode up the elevator naked and walked into his office, and he pointed out everything he owned out his windows, which was quite a bit. But anyway, I know him well.
So you must. So you must be Are you a supporter then? If you've had so much interaction with him, or you've been so kind of tight?
You also know, I would imagine, that I'm a relatively bright guy. So, no.
God, it's so good to hear that. I love hearing that. It makes me realize that I'm not losing my mind when people that have like really dealt with him are on the same team and are like, "There's just no way," right? There's no way, right?
You're hoping like maybe this is all an act.
There
maybe
is no. There's no way.
Okay.
There's no way.
All
and
right.
I'm as. Similarly to you, I think losing my mind at the idea that there are enough people so detached from
reality
sense and sensibility,
Yes.
that they're voting for him, and that they think that there's a possibility he's somewhat suitable for that office, and he just isn't. He's suitable for all kinds of things.
Well, we're in this terrifying moment.
He can fake fire people. That's
right.
about it.
We're in this terrifying moment where a giant portion of the country would be willing to elect anyone that's not Hillary Clinton or anyone that has a Republican next to their name, and it's really freaking me out, man. Especially like Jesus Christ. Okay, so anyway, Scott.
Richard, you are, really quickly. I'm a big fan, Richard, by the way. And I know you're a proud gay man. And we want to talk about Jody's fashion here real quick because we have a problem. We know gay. We don't, you're probably good with fashion. I mean, even though you like to run around naked. Cargo shorts. Are you still wearing them? Because Jody won't let this go.
Have you ever been a cargo shorts guy, Richard? Like, have you ever been a cargo short person?
I don't know that I've ever worn what are typically thought of as cargo shorts, but I wear a lot of things made by Kuhl, Kuhl, and so they're outdoor gear. They have a couple of pockets, but they're not really cargo shorts. I don't think I'm a cargo shorts.
How do you
a gay man wouldn't be caught dead in cargo shorts. All right,
how do you feel about this current climate in the media that is so
banishing people,
so extraordinarily anti-cargo that I am starting to feel uncomfortable wearing cargo shorts out in public now, and I think it's kind of messed up. Richard, how do you personally feel? Like, would you judge me if you and I decided, if you were like, hey, I really enjoyed the chat we had on the show, let's get together for a cup of coffee. Let's
both wear cargo shorts.
Yeah, we could talk about how much we hate Donald Trump, and I show up wearing cargo
Donald
shorts.
Trump shorts.
Are you gonna judge me if I walk in there wearing cargo shorts?
Well, I put it this way: if you're a pretty good-looking guy, and I notice your cargo shorts, I'll probably ask you to take them off.
Yes.
You go, girl.
Now, really quickly, Richard, I got this question for you. You're the original Survivor. Okay, a lot of people don't know this. The original, the first one to do it. And then the show Naked and Afraid pops out of nowhere. Now, listen.
You love this
Hold
show,
right
Scott.
there.
You love this
I have a lawyer. I'm sure you have a lawyer too, Richard. And I love Naked and Afraid. You started this Naked and Afraid show. Okay, what you need to do is go to Discovery Channel and you need to get some money from these people. And you need to do it now. You smell what I'm cooking here? There's hours of proof.
I been receiving royalty?
Yeah, look,
Exactly,
I think Scott's right on this, Richard. Like
right? I'm not crazy here.
You did invent this show a long, long time ago, and now it's a giant hit.
And shouldn't I be receiving royalties?
Yes.
I mean, I really, truly believe I should, but they've never contacted me.
Yeah, that's a real
Did
shame.
you think about this before or what, Richard? I mean, am I this smart to where I just put this together myself?
I want to say yes.
Hey,
I mean,
all
I
right.
did-
Can you believe that, Jody? I have a great lawyer. I'm gonna get. You probably know a lawyer too, but I want to get you in touch with him as soon as possible.
All right,
Rich.
hey, Richard, thank you so much. I wish we had a little bit more time to chat with you, but we sort of
That's
got
it?
to you.
Are you
towards the end of
kidding
the-
me?
Scott? We got like 2 minutes left.
One more
before the-
question.
Okay,
One
all
more
right,
question.
okay,
That's
okay.
it. To be a quick one.
Okay.
Richard, like I said, I'm a big fan. Is Rudy still alive?
He is. He's a wonderful, wonderful guy. Still in Virginia Beach. Good
All
man.
right,
Good
there
man.
you go. Let's celebrate. Rudy's still alive. He was like 80 back then.
All right. Well, hey, Richard, thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate it. Maybe we can have you on another time.
Great talking to you, fellas. Have a good one.
Right on,
Take
later
care.
on. There you go.
Dude.
There's Richard Hatch. That's the first millionaire, because you're right. He won exactly $1 million, and he didn't pay any taxes on it, right?
Well, he
And that's
did.
why
He paid for
that's-
that,
That's
though.
why he got in trouble. So for a moment there, he actually did have an actual real $1 million.
Well, Jody,
so-
he had to eventually pay the taxes too, so don't say he didn't.
Okay. You got a twisted
Why
reveal.
would you bash a guest like that the second he gets off the
I
phone?
didn't
He
bash
did
him.
pay his taxes. Trust me, okay?
I didn't bash
and
him.
I just gave him the key to millions of dollars when he's gonna sue Naked and Afraid, and I better see a piece of that.
Okay.
Shit.
So anyway, you got a
Oh
reveal,
yeah.
or are
Are
we
we
gonna skip
done?
it? Yeah.
Debbie Wasserman Schultz. Jody.
Is that it? Is that your
No,
twisted reveal tonight?
That's not it.
Oh, okay.
This is pretty twisted. You think you're healthy? You're not. Okay, that was a burp. A
Yeah,
healthy
good.
burp
Thank
from a
you.
healthy
Yes,
man.
Yes.
I was doing some research. I am actually friends. I DJ alongside a food scientist. I wanted him to come on today, but he was busy doing food scientist stuff, okay? He reported to me, carbs are bad for you. We know that, okay? They're bad.
Mm-hmm.
But he reported to me this, Jody. Take a wild guess. What's the most dangerous carb you can eat?
There's different kinds of carbs. I don't know. What are you talking about? I thought carbs.
You need to get on board. You need to wake up because you don't want to die from eating a baked potato.
What, a baked potato's
Okay.
going to kill me? Is that the worst carb?
Do
Is
you
baked
want to
potato?
drop dead after eating a loaded baked potato? The number
I eat 'em all
one
the time. I eat loaded baked potatoes all the
carb
time.
killer in the world is a loaded or regular baked potato. The food scientist says all the crumbled up pieces of potato go straight to your heart, causing a heart attack where you die. Okay, Jody? So pump the brakes on the taters.
Okay.
This is real stuff here, okay? I'm not trying to joke around with you.
Okay.
I wish we could have talked to Richard Hatch more. It's so much more for him.
Yeah, well, it's probably better we got off the phone with him. Yeah,
What are you talking about? What the? You're a real jerk.
I thought it was interesting, but we were like out of town, out of time. You're like, I didn't even watch Survivor back then.
What about thumb rings? You ever bang a girl with thumb rings? It's gross.
What's the deal with dudes with thumb rings? You ever
Okay,
notice
that's
those
a whole
guys?
different level. No, those guys out there, they're wearing cargo shorts. I mean, are they out there?
Yeah, I've seen guys that wear thumb rings. Like, what are those guys doing? Sometimes I think that maybe like
Putting them
things
in
like
the
that,
butt.
things like that are like a signal about being part of like some kind of like an underground thing.
like a Pokemon?
Like if you're a furry and like you can't wear your furry stuff out in public, so you wear like a thumb ring that like lets all the other furries know that you're down to put on
I can't
an animal
believe-
suit and bang, you know?
I can't believe baked potatoes are the number one killer in the United
That
States.
actually
of America.
sounds like a twisted reveal.
It does. That's
Yeah,
a better
it is.
twisted
Yeah.
reveal than Scott's, actually.
come on
much
now.
like I could have done a
Mike,
much better twisted tonight.
Do me a favor. Jody attacked both of my guests, by the way. I can't wait
I
till he
didn't
books
attack-
somebody.
I didn't
First
attack
of all,
anybody.
you asked Roger Moore how much he makes, the first
Not an
question,
attack.
and then you say Richard Hatch didn't pay his taxes.
He
Okay,
didn't.
so
That's
Mike,
why he got- that's
what
why
I
he
need
went to
know,
jail
he
for
ended
2
up
years.
paying his taxes. Okay, that's a tough subject. Mike, do me a favor after the show. Please reach out to these beautiful men, and say thank you very much for coming on the show, will you? Mike,
That's already taken care of.
Yeah, I'm sure he's
Okay,
all
good.
over.
what did you say?
I tell you what, I like Roger Moore though. He's a good movie expert. We should have him on. He gets fired up. I like that. You can hear the
Yeah,
passion.
he was getting angry. You get a naughty girl. Yeah.
You hear the passion in Roger Moore's voice. So again, thanks very much to Roger Moore. Thanks very much to Richard Hatch. You can find
And
us.
thank you very much to Pinterest. Jody actually built a guitar wall
Yeah, it's very
over
cool.
the weekend. That was big.
JodyandScottShow.com, Twitter, Jody N. Scott. Subscribe to the show on iTunes or Stitcher. That's going to do it for us. We will see everybody next Tuesday. We do this every Tuesday night, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Time at JodyandScottShow.com. Available for download shortly thereafter. We'll see you there.
I can't believe you didn't think about Naked and Afraid. He started that. He's going to make so much freaking money.
Should have made a lot of money.
He's going to. I'm going to not see any of it.